Yes, that's a beautiful one. Right there at the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, where we lifted our first AFCON title, taking you back memory lane to see how it was when we first lifted the African Cup of Nations title on the continent of Africa. The likes of Mudashiru Lawal, Adol Kema from Port Harcourt, Felix Owolabi, Emmanuel Okala, who was the goalkeeper, doing a very good job against the Algerians, the Desert Forces of Algeria. In that final in Lagos, we hosted and we won it. Just what Cote d'Ivoire did on Sunday. They hosted, they won it, and you can see right there where the medal presentation was ongoing. The president of Nigeria, Shehu Shagari, then presenting the medals to our own Golden Eagles, as they were called in 1980. That was a fantastic one. We've won the AFCON title 3 times, and the 4th one we would have maybe scoop it on Sunday, but it wasn't like that against the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire. On that note, I welcome you to the program proper, 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. We are still looking at the aftermath of the AFCON that happened in Cote d'Ivoire, that is AFCON 2023. The boys are back, the Super Eagles players are back, and as we speak, most of them are rearing up to go back to their various clubs in Europe, while some will just have 1 or 2 to do in the country before leaving for their clubs in Europe. And it's a good one that we came second out of 24 countries that participated in the AFCON 2023. Nigeria is second best team, winning the silver medal. We've appeared alongside Ghana and Egypt more in the African Cup of Nations final. 8 times we've appeared in the final. Egypt have appeared 9 times in the final, winning 7. Ghana also have appeared 9 times in the final, winning 3 out of the finals they've graced. So Nigeria also have made it 8 times in the final. We're winning 3. We've lost 5 of them. The last one coming against Cote d'Ivoire on Sunday. We'll be looking at this story and many more on the show. I have John Osho, all the way from Kaduna, who will be joining me via Zoom to do justice to all of these stories we have on the show. John Osho, welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV.
To be here. It's a privilege.
Okay, let's go straight to Villa. That is Aso Rock Villa, the home of Nigeria #1 citizen, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Had a grand reception for our Super Eagles yesterday, right there at the Villa, and they were giving a lot of welcome packages, bonuses, and the rest of them, giving them a very big handshake, not just handshake alone. They have been conferred on a member of Order of Niger, that is MON, and they were given plots of land in the city of Abuja with other benefits that the federal government gave to this team for doing so well at the AFCON tournament in Cote d'Ivoire. Even though we come second, it's a good thing that if we hadn't got into the final, what we would have been saying by now. The team got to the final, coming second. It's not their doing that they lost to Cote d'Ivoire, but it's a very big one. It's a very good one for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and for that job well done in Cote d'Ivoire. The president conferred on all the players, their coaches, the officials, MON, that is member of Order of Niger, and then gifts of lands and some cash reward were given to this team.
So looking at the Super Eagles, right, and the experience that they've had at the Nations Cup, for those who were expecting so much from them simply because they got to the final, that's probably those who were not following them from the beginning. From the very beginning, we did not expect them to go this far because they've had some very underwhelming performances of late. But what they did to us, for us in the final, they showed us that the whole country, will unite when there's a good cause to unite for. And that was actually really good because they gave us hope again. We were able to dream again, and that was really spectacular. Yes, they didn't get to the end to give us the full title, but they went ahead to lose to the host nations. I told someone that the Super Eagles, if they're going to lose this game, it's going to be because Cote d'Ivoire have their fans behind them. Maybe to an extent, they'll get a little bit of referee bias. And I'm not calling out the referee for any reason, But there seemed to be there was a form of bias, the fact that the ref knew Cote d'Ivoire were the host nations and just wanted to really bid favor them to an extent. And we did not represent ourselves well in the final compared to how we had done in previous games. But all the same, credit to the players and also credit to the government for rewarding them. Some people were saying, why would you reward them for coming second? But this is a way of encouraging them to do better in upcoming competitions.
Yes, it's a way of encouraging them to do better in upcoming competitions, to come second in the competition. Look at what happened to Morocco. They came fourth and they were celebrated in the country. So we came second on the continent of Africa, where you have 24 teams that participated in the tournament, and coming second is not a fluke. We will be opening the phone lines on the program. We'll be asking a particular question: should Jose Pizarro go or stay? I will ask you this before our viewers at home start calling in on the show. John Osho, quickly, before we move to the next story, what's your take about this particular question? Should we retain Jose Pizarro or we should let him go?
All right, so this is a very simple thing, right? When you look at this NFF and what we've been doing in the past, without having a replacement on ground, we just go ahead and we sack the coach of the national team, and then we start looking for a replacement. Now, the replacements you're looking for, they have the ball in their court right now. Whatever bargaining chip, it is theirs. So when you come and meet them, they'll tell you, I know that you don't have a current coach, so I can play you around and give you my terms and conditions because I know you need me. But what they should do right now is to ensure that they get a replacement, assuming they want to let Pizarro go. So get a very good replacement. If we have a very good replacement, an option better than Pizarro, good and fine. But what I will not support is the NFF administration now going ahead to sack Pizarro and then looking for somebody doing a fire brigade approach and looking for someone who is not any better. So if we're going to sack Pizarro, we need an option that is better than Pizarro. If there is no option available currently better than Pizarro, then stick with him until you have an option. I'm not saying he's the best man for the job, but I'm just saying that we need to find somebody better. And by better, I mean someone who is clearly better, not just someone who is on the same level with him. We've been moving around the same cycle for a very long time. One spot, we're just circulating and circulating. We need to get, if we're going to go all out for it, bring the money out of wherever it is and pay someone that you know will do the job. Ave Renat, for example, has been known to do the job with African teams a lot of times, right? If we can go for someone like that and we believe and feel that we can afford, which I believe we can, then yes, we'll go for that kind of person. Then you let Pizarro go. But if you don't have someone who is miles ahead, who is clearly better, then please, let's just leave him there.
Okay, please, let's just leave him there. The number will be popped up on the screen. You can call that number and you reach us live on the program 360 Sports to air your view. Should Jose Pizarro go or stay with the Super Eagles? We're still talking about the Super Eagles. Let's move on to the next stories as we wait your call. And now the NFF has condemned the online attack, the cyber attack on Alex Iwobi after the single picked him out. So many trolls were thrown at him on his social media account. He has to delete all of those accounts, and I think it's not a good thing. You don't single out a player. Football is a team sport. You don't single out a player to. Yeah, I think all of the teams should take the blame, should take that is. And now NFF has come out to condemn the online attack on Alex Iwobi.
Okay, so when it comes to cyberbullying, I'm not a fan at all, right? Because I believe football, we all get really emotional when we watch football. So, for example, you're watching a game for your club side or your country and they lose. So you go ahead and you start posting things like, I'm not happy with this. Why did this player do this and why did this player do that? That's about it, right? You don't let your emotions, crowd your judgment. When you get to a point where you start constantly going at these players, you start insulting them, going into their DMs, you start saying all sort of things, haranguing these players. And these are players who actually make the decision to play for your country, right? A lot of players make excuses and say they would rather stay in their clubs. Iwobi has been one of those guys from day one, even before he made his first team appearance for Arsenal. He had already pledged his international allegiance to Nigeria, which shows how passionate he is. This guy is still very young and he already has over 70 caps for Nigeria. There are not up to 10 players who have more caps than him in the entire history of the Nigerian national team. To show you how committed he is, he always makes it to the national team whenever he's called up, as long as he's fit. And for people to do this, they did it a couple of years ago.
Hello, your name and where you're calling us from. Quickly, you just have 10 seconds.
I'm calling from Yola.
From Yola, your name? Dagash, okay, let's hear you quickly. Jose Pizarro to go or stay?
Ima, be candid with you. Jose Pizarro should go.
Okay, Jose Pizarro should go. All right.
Yes.
All right, we heard you. Jose Pizarro should go. All right, the guys from Adamawa State, Jose Pizarro should go. All right, still talking about the Super Eagles. You've heard it all. It's not good to single out a player and start trolling all sorts of manner insults at the player. For Alex Iwobi, he has been one player. Whenever he's called for duty to the Super Eagles, he'll always show up. Let's not forget, in a hurry, he was so instrumental to our qualification to 2018 World Cup in Russia. All right, still talking about these Super Eagles. Let's look at this story quickly while we wait your call, where Kelechi Iheanacho himself has actually opined that the Super Eagles will be back strong and better, and that is what it is. If you lose game, you just have to pick up the pieces, and I believe we've learned a lot of lessons. Okay, hello, your name and where you are calling us from, quickly.
So, okay, my name is Yusuf Rabi from Zamfara State.
Okay, Yusuf Rabi from Zamfara. Let's hear you. Jose Pizarro to go or stay?
So I want to talk about the
Yusuf, are you there? Okay, we lost that call there. Let's move ahead. Like I said, for Kelechi Iheanacho, he has said the Super Eagles will be back strong and better. John, I think that is the way to go. We just need to encourage ourselves and move ahead with all of this. So we should just put this defeat behind us. Don't you think what Kelechi Iheanacho has said is the right thing and is the way forward?
I'm looking at him. He did not get to play too many games too many minutes in the tournament. But he's what I call the perfect team player. Because even without playing so many minutes, you could still see he didn't frown his face or give that body language that why did this coach play me more in this particular tournament. He gave his all and his best when he was called upon, and now he's saying that we'll be back. Yes, and that's the fact. We're going to be back. So all we need is to get it right. We have the players in the right departments to actually get it right. So once we are able to get it right, the next tournament, Africa should watch out for us. We were not as prepared, for this tournament as we usually prepare for some of the other tournaments.
Patrick from Akwa Ibom.
Okay, Patrick from Akwa Ibom. Let's hear you. Jose Pizarro to go or stay?
Should not go.
Okay, should stay. Your reasons quickly.
Let us give him time to handle the midfield, and we will have a complete team.
Okay, we should give him time to work on that midfield, and we will have a complete team. All right, let's leave Kelechi Iheanacho's story and quickly look at the Women's Football League. Match games are back, and it's match day 8 in the Nigerian Women's Football League. We have actions lined up for match day 8 that will be going down across various centers in Nigeria. Let's quickly look at Group A, where we have Confluence Queens of Kogi State will take on Abuja Nigeria. Abia Angels will play host to Danas Ladies of Lagos, and Adamawa Queens will visit Heartland Queens of Owerri at the Dan Ayam Stadium. The first leg ended in favor of Adamawa Queens right there in Yola, and the Heartland Queens of Owerri are looking forward to this game, and they've been talking tough. They want to take a revenge against the team that beat them in the first leg. And then Nasarawa Amazon, close to the FCT, will welcome Royal Queens also in match day 8 of the Nigerian Women's Football League. That is in Group A. Let's go look at Group B. We have games also in Group B. We have Ekiti Queens, newcomers to the league, will take on Remo Star Ladies, that is Southwest Derby. Sunshine Queens of Akure will play host to Delta Queens of Asaba, and Bayelsa Queens will play Edo Queens, that is the Niger Delta Derby, and Rivers Angels will play Robo Queens also of Lagos at the Adokia Masimaka Stadium, the name you heard and that first video, the AFCON finals of 1980. That stadium was named after him in the city of Port Harcourt. Quickly, John Osho, I think I'm looking forward to these two big fixtures in Group B, Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens, and then Rivers Angels against Robo Queens of Lagos.
They're looking at the derby between the Edo Queens and Bayelsa Queens, and the other one between Rivers Angels and FC Robo Queens. For Rivers Angels especially, one of the best teams. FC Robo as well, a very good team that has been churning out players for the national team and players who have been going to Europe. So this is the thing about the Nigerian league, general local league, and then women's league as well. I think I've been impressed with the Nigerian women's league because it's that same league that has produced the likes of Chiamaka and those even assistants. Or Shola, who are doing their thing out there in Europe. For example, Chiamaka Nadozie for Paris FC, even though her team couldn't make it out of the group with the Chelsea women's team, but she was able to make a good name for herself, was able to prove to them that despite coming all the way from, a league in Nigeria, we have top quality who can stand against their peers at any point in time, just like they did at the World Cup. And for what she called Assistant Shola also leaving Barcelona women, going all the way to the United States, Bay FC and all. It shows you that our league has something, and if we can get these matches, these games on television, so that the fans in Nigeria can get to see these games the way they can access games in Europe and the United States of America, it's going to be good for our league, because by the time fans are seeing these, fans are going to become invested, more fans will be going to the stadium, and more funds will be generated for the league.
More funds will be generated to the league. If you want to catch the glimpses of these games, they are streamed online, but not on live television. But you can follow them online and watch this fixture. Is a big one. Rivers Angels against FC Robo Queens, and Delta Queens will play host to Bayelsa Queens also. That's a Niger the big game coming up in March the 8th of the Nigerian Women's Football League. Let's go straight to Europe and quickly look at some actions last night that happened in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. They say it is meant for the champions. The boys have been separated for the men, and the men are remaining. While some boys also follow the men into the round of 16, they will still have to separate the boys from the men. And one game last night in Copenhagen, that is in Denmark, it was 3-1 against FC Copenhagen. The likes of De Bruyne, the man who is on fire right now, Phil Foden, getting the third goal at the dying stages of that game in Denmark. Bernardo Silva getting the second goal for Manchester City. 3-1 it ended, and 2 goals advantage for Man City. John, quickly, this Man City of a team, they don't now. De Bruyne is back. Erling Haaland is also back. I think the team is complete as it stands right now. Do you think they can find their way to the final and win it, just what Real Madrid did when they won it back-to-back?
Yeah, I was going to mention the Real Madrid team, right? And the Real Madrid team won it 3 times in a row. So the fact that they did that means that it is now possible. And I think Manchester City can dare to dream. The 1-3-1 in a game where it was an error from Ederson that made Copenhagen to get their own goal. It was like a consolation goal. Even though it was 1-0 at that time, they equalized. You just knew, you just had a feeling that Manchester City were going to end up winning. De Bruyne has come back. He has inspired the team. Haaland is back as well, which means that defenders will be paying attention to him to give room to the likes of Phil Foden and Bernardo Silva to move around.
Good one. And then for Real Madrid, Ibrahim Diaz came into the party, got the only goal on the 48th minute of that game for Real Madrid against RB Leipzig in Germany. And now they have 1 goal advantage. You know, it's no longer away goal rules. What you use now is goals. Just 1 goal can be cancelled. The reverse fixture will be coming up in Bernabeu. What is really looking like for Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu when Leipzig comes calling the second leg?
All right, so this is simple. When you look at Real Madrid and what they have done, they went away from home on a day that they didn't play really well. Leipzig were able to play out of their press. They did not have a very strong, attacking for press, and they didn't have Jude Bellingham available as well. But somehow, Brian Diaz was able to inspire them to a victory with a spectacular goal, one of the goals of the season, which shows you that even on a bad day, Real Madrid are a force to contend with. Leipzig will be going to Bernabeu. The crowd in Bernabeu is something else. I don't see Leipzig coming back from that particular one.
Okay, you don't see them coming back from that particular one. We're still waiting for your call on the program. Let's hear you. Jose Pizarro, is he to stay or to go after doing so well in the AFCON? He also was conferred on member of Order of Niger. And if you look at it, I think it's a big one. It's a big one for Coach Jose Pizarro. And quickly, John Osho, in fact, time is against us. You've talked much about Jose Pizarro, and I've heard you. But in the event that we don't get a better person, some persons have called for Amunike. Quickly, in 10 seconds, do you think Amunike should be drafted into the Super Eagles and let Jose Pizarro go? Your thought?
So Amunike has done it for the junior team, that's for the age grade teams. That's a different ballgame. We could give him a chance, but do we want to start testing right now at this point?
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I would expect Amunike to probably
go. Leave it. That's why we have to leave it. John Osho, thanks for coming on the show. It was a wonderful one having you on 360 Sports from Trust TV this morning.
Yeah, it was good to be on the show. Yeah, I had fun talking about some of these important points. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.